What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the Winnerly NIO stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off what the charts are showing and based off what the data is suggesting. I'm also going to talk about what's going on with the market, the Fed, and what's NIO put on their Twitter page, which is very bullish news as they have completed over 10 million battery swaps, making me very, very bullish and excited for the long-term future. Now, before I break any of this down, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things before getting started. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, but benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed up to 10 free stocks, each worth up to $2,500. And the best part is, out of the 10 free stocks, 5 are going to come from the wheel right here, meaning you could get 5 free Tesla shares, 5 free Google shares, or Apple shares, or a mix of all of them. It's a limited time offer. It ends in just 1 week. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So currently NIO's up about 3.84%, a little bit green in the after hours as well, and it does look pretty bullish. But there are some things I want to talk about when it comes to understanding the price action of NIO and what on earth the stock is doing. Now, firstly, I want to talk about the markets. Obviously, the markets were extremely fearful. They still are on the kind of extremely fearful side, but we're getting closer to the fearful side because we are seeing some temporary relief. And I do think the markets are going to continue to see that. Now, even though there is the potential for temporary relief, we have to look at what the news is reporting. And that's the fact that recession-related fears sent European indexes nosediving, which weighed on US futures. Now, growth figures hinted a sharp growth slowdown at the end of the second quarter in Europe, while the odds for a US setback are now above 70% for 2024. At least this is what they're trying to say. And the odds for a recession are obviously higher. Now, right now, we're going to see what the FOMC meeting reports, but reports are showing that a recession is most likely around the corner, and that will have a negative effect on the markets. Now, when it comes to this news, I'm not trying to say that NIO is going to drop tomorrow or anything like that. In fact, I do think that even though we are still respecting a slight downward trend, let me actually bring out the 2-hour candles to show you the downward trend. I do think there are moments where we get these temporary relief bounces like this one right here. Let me close the 1348 EMAs just to make this clear. Right here, for instance, we got this big drop followed by a nice bounce up to about 23, another big drop followed by another nice bounce, a nice push up, and I do think we have some more room for a little bit more upside before we start to see more downside because of all the things that are going on. Now remember, I predicted that the markets are going to be releasing or most likely announcing a recession. Big things are going to happen. The Fed is probably going to have to remain a little bit more hawkish for some time. We have the FOMC meeting coming out at the end of the month, the GDP report, not to mention markets that are kind of increasing the odds of a more hawkish Fed. So a lot of things are pointing in the direction of downside for the markets in the second half of July. But before I get there, like I predicted, the first week of July is likely going to be a little bit more bullish. So you could actually get some more green for NIO and the overall market. Now, looking at SPY, it's looking pretty good right now. Not great, but pretty good. We are starting to make some higher highs. We're slowly starting to upward trend. And if we continue on this trend, the SPY should be headed towards that 385 range, very much in the realm of possibility. And I would like to see the SPY continue to push up for tomorrow. We are seeing the volume isn't as great as before, so that is not necessarily too concerning, but I do think we have a little bit more room for some temporary relief, and we may end up getting that. Now, going down here to the NASDAQ, very similar story. The NASDAQ is starting to push up, and we're entering this very nice key zone around that 11,375 range. The NASDAQ does look like it might push up a little bit more as well. So with that said, we did make a bit of a higher low, so we are looking a little bit bullish on the NASDAQ, and as a result of that, right, it tends to move in unison with the SPY, the QQQ, the overall market, and NIO as well. So this may help push NIO up a little bit more for tomorrow. We're already seeing NIO green in the after hours, so I do think it's possible we see another green day for NIO, and I do think we do have more room for some temporary relief. Now, right now, NIO is very close to that key resistance level at 22.27. If NIO breaks that, it's going to be a very good sign, and I think NIO most likely will. I think we're super close to breaking it in the after hours. We're at like 22.24. We're like 3 cents away. So to me personally, it looks pretty bullish, and it looks like NIO wants to break out of this key resistance level. I do think it's very likely NIO does end up breaking it and starts heading towards that 23 range. Then between 22.27 and then maybe like 23.5 range for tomorrow. So I am essentially predicting that I'm more bullish than bearish, just as I was for today. And I do think NIO is set for some upside. So just to draw it out for you, just to make this clear, I also want to go over a bearish possibility just in case, just to make this clear. What could happen tomorrow is NIO has a tendency of being very volatile in the opening. We might get a nice parabolic move to about $23 just to start off the day tomorrow, followed by some sideways action, maybe a bit of a decline, and we might kind of stay sideways for the rest of the day. You get a pretty decent close, a little above 22.5 or around there. So that's essentially what I'm predicting in this video. I don't think NIO is just going to take off in one day, but I do think some upside is still very, very possible considering how the market's moving and other things like that. So with that said and done, that's essentially what I'm predicting. I want to go over it now, a more bearish possibility. What if NIO doesn't push up? What may end up happening? Let's just say we do get rejected off 22.27. If that's the case, NIO is going to drop back down and could slowly start to downward trend. A key support zone could be around that 21.5 range. And if that doesn't hold us, I mean, it's not going to get too pretty after that. We want to see 20.8 hold us, and this thing could end up dropping to the 20s if we can't even hold 22.27 or 22.5. So I'm sorry, not 22.5, 22 flat. So with that said, look out for 22. I really hope NIO could hold that, which I think it most likely will. And with that said, I want to actually transition to this right here. NIO put on their Twitter page that they have completed over 10 million battery swaps, a total mileage of 1.98 billion kilometers. That's around 130,375 point five. I'm sorry, 130,327.5. I'm sorry, I think I read that wrong. Tons of carbon emission reductions, equivalent to the volume absorbed by 1.17 million fir trees over 30 years. So it just goes to show how incredible battery swapping technology is, how much people absolutely love, the power of this company. They love the services, they love the cars, and their brand is getting bigger and bigger by the days. With that said and done, the last thing I wanted to talk about is you need to think about the future. Think about the future. Look, the market could be maybe temporary bullish for today. Remember, bear markets have a tendency of lasting for about 9 months. So the market could be kind of choppy for the next couple of months. And that's okay with me because it's a very good buying opportunity for NIO, for Tesla, and all these great companies out there. And the long term is still very bright. If I actually zoom out of the charts, maybe I could do some more in-depth technical analysis. NIO is very cheap compared to its all-time high, but one day its all-time high right now is not going to be its all-time high. NIO is going to make new all-time highs. I'm very confident in it, very, very bullish. And once the market relieves, once the time comes, it's going to be amazing. So I'm one of those people that likes to be early. I would rather be early when it comes to buying the dips instead of too late. Because if you're too late, you miss out on potential gains. If you're early, you may buy a little bit higher than the dip, but it doesn't necessarily matter that much because we're at good dips right now. And we had good dips when it was in the 11s and lower ranges. So just wanted to put that all out there. With that said and done, from a technical perspective, on the 5 minute, we got a nice 1348 EMA crossover. We started to push up since then. We did not show weakness after that. And then it will depend on the overall market as well, which is why I did still point out why NIO still looks more bullish than bearish. On the 2 hour time frame, check this out right here. We're getting a nice signal line and MACD crossover right here. So hopefully it continues to see bullish momentum. RSI is picking up at 55.23. With that out of the way, it's looking pretty darn good. So thank you for listening. Please enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon, and peace out.